Welcome everyone to Don White's Thursday night live stream. To all of you watching on Facebook, or even if you're just joining us from another platform, consider sharing the page on Facebook. This is the best way to grow our little community. And as always, this is a free concert. But if you'd like to donate to show appreciation, there are links in the chat to do so. Thank you very much for your patience. We will get started soon. I was on the highway, I was cruising along, decided to put my seatbelt on. A minute later, baby, would you believe a Big Mac truck crashed into me? I told the policeman that it was okay. He said, seatbelt saved your life today. Ambulance driver, EMTs, they started singing this song to me. They said it's a great day to not be dead. Shoo-doo-wah, shoo-wah, shoo-wah, to not cave in your windshield with your head caving in your windshield. With your head, you're an ugly man. But if that occurred, believe me, it would be even uglier. And it's a great day to not be dead. Shoo-doo-wah, shoo-wah, shoo-wah. You know, later that evening with my family, we were sitting on the couch, we were watching TV. There was a drive-by shooting on the 6 o'clock news. They fired 15 bullets at one poor dude. He took one on the finger, one on the shin. The other 13 all missed him, so we called him up at the hospital and we sang to him over the telephone. We said, hey, it was a great day to not be dead. Shoo-doo-wah, shoo-wah, shoo-wah, and not have bullets in your head. Oh, what wonderful luck you've got. The guy that tried to kill you was a terrible shot, and it's a great day to not be dead. The next news story on my TV set was that guy whose wife brought a knife to bed. 1 hour later, as the story goes, a part of his anatomy was laying by the road. Well, my sassy wife looked over and she smiled at me. She started singing this song, tell me, she said, it is a great day to not be dead. To not have your wife bring a knife with her to bed. Oh, what wonderful luck you've got. The guy that tried to kill you was a terrible shot, and it's a great day to not be dead. You know, I thought about my car crash and my close call. I started getting sentimental. I said, I love this house. I love you guys. I even love my rusty old car outside, and I'm so happy to be alive. Looking at my computer with all of you. Let's do all the things we always said that we would do as soon as it's possible to breathe in the same room with other people. 'Cause it's a great day. It is a great day. It is a great day. It is a great day. It's a great day to not be dead. All right.
Woo!
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, welcome everybody. Good to see you. Putting you on gal.
Hi, Don.
Hi, Kevin. Be careful out there driving. You're supposed to be paying attention to the road, not me.
I am.
All right. You know, I'm sure somewhere in the, that's going to happen where a Zoom meeting gets to watch somebody crash their car somewhere if it hasn't happened already. Hello, but hopefully not you tonight, Kevin. Sarah, nice to see you that you're here. Kara.
We're not going to start that trend.
That's right. Meg, nice to see you. Thank you so much. Is there anything I can play for you, Meg? I know you never request anything, but I'll be happy to do anything for you.
Always play everything I like, so it's fine. Everybody else asks for what I want, so I don't need to.
All right, good. Well, started out by playing It's a Great Day to Not Be Dead because I just got my COVID test back and I don't have COVID. That's good. I haven't been feeling that good, so I thought maybe I would have had it. We have people in our building who have COVID, like other apartments, so There you go, but I'm good. I'm not. I'm going to die from something else at this moment. No, not that. So that's good.
Hey, it's Veterans Day. Thanks to all the vets out there.
Yeah, I want to thank all
Oh,
the
yeah.
veterans. If you got veterans in your family too, like we have them, and so I hope they're having a good day. Hope they're all well and healthy, and hope maybe that there's fewer wars in the future, so that we can go easy on our veterans. The future ones. That's my thoughts on that. Let's see. I overheard a man complaining how his 401k was not performing quite how he would like it to. As he sipped his double latte and continued to complain, I thought about that day in 1982. We were living in the shack with the outhouse in the back. If I'm not mistaken, you were pregnant too. You thought it might be funny to count up all of our money and discuss all the investing we could do. We pulled our pockets inside out, pulled the cushions on the couch, stuck our fingers way down deep inside. And we emptied out the pockets of the jackets in our closet, but not a single penny did we find. So after the realization our financial situation was not conducive to investment at this time, we decided to invest in what we've always done best. Dance around the kitchen for a while, we do the victory dance. Life is such a mess, we don't know what else to do. We do the victory dance. When being penniless became literal to me and you. Well, you could jump off of a building, take a bunch of pills, you could walk around in a trance. But if you wake up in the morning on the right side of the lawn, go on and do the victory dance. I got fired from a job I have been working at for 20 years faithfully. Oh dear, oh God, oh my, how will I ever survive without a corporation taking care of me? I was so stressed out for weeks, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, I didn't think that things would ever turn my way. Then a couple months went by, I began to realize, man, I really hated working at that place. So I started working for myself, I improved my mental health, now I'm happier than I've ever been before. Oh dear, oh my, oh God, I should have quit that stupid job 19 years ago to do the victory dance. But my life forces me to go out on my own. And then I just declare victory, and I march my army home. There are things you can't control, things you'll never know. Some things are always left to chance. If you're a clerk or you're a farmer, work from home in your pajamas, do the victory dance. When your life forces you to go out on your own, I say, just declare victory and then march your army home. There are things you can't control, things you'll never know. Some things are always left to chance. But if you wake up in the morning on the right side of the lawn, if you're a clerk or you're a farmer, work from home in your pajamas. If your health is getting worse, but you can still flirt with the nurse. If you lose your money, but you still got your honey. If you lose your honey, but you still got some money. If you find it hard to cope cause your kids are all on dope, don't surrender yet. Try not to forget in this game of life we're in. In this game of life we're in. In this game of life that we are in. If you don't die, you win.
Woo! Woo! Love you, John.
Love you too, man. Hey. All right, so I have so much to tell you. You know, hello, Rick from Indiana, my dear friend.
Hey, man.
It's right there. So thank you so much for popping in where I can look at you and hear you. Things are good out in your part of the world?
They are?
Glad to hear it. I see your daughter's got a gig. I saw that online today.
That's right. Hop over to Fort Wayne next Friday.
I will.
Okay.
You know, I got nothing to do. I'm just sitting around the house doing nothing. But yeah, you know, send her my love. All right, so I'm gonna go all as everyone who comes here all the time knows. Dawn White is in a multicolored blur of a whirlwind. My life is like a whirl. It's like if Jason Pollock was in a spinning room and just throwing paint this way like that. That's how I life is. It's just insane, but almost all of it is good. Like not just good, like life changing good. So let me start with my battle for Lynn Woods. I know I'm gonna go right from the beginning to the end of this. I'm sorry for you that have heard this before, but this is so monumental in my life. So Lynn, Massachusetts is an urban environment. It has cities all around it, and it's an industrial wasteland. It's 14 miles north of Boston. It's working class. There's factories and trucks and traffic, and the General Electric is here. There's pollution and noise. It's near Logan Airport. There's this airplanes, and it's all of that, right? But some very forward-thinking guys with beards in the 1800s decided they were going to buy up a bunch of land and not let it get developed. So I think in the 1850s, all these environmentalists bought up what turned out to be 2,200 acres of land in three different cities. It's in Lynn, and then bordering in Lynnfield and in Saugus, two towns. So Lynn, that's Lynn Woods, right? Lynn Woods, and it has 3 reservoirs here. So Lynn has its own drinking water. And most water in Massachusetts comes from the Quabbin Reservoir, way out in the middle of the state, and it's but our drinking water is unbelievable because we have all this land and all this woods filtering the natural filter for the water. So it was a big deal, and it's never officially been protected. It's always just been, it could have been. You could do anything to it if you were a corrupt politician and no one was watching, because there was no designation for it. Nobody knew what land was what, who bought it, all that, right? And just a brief list of the things that we fought. Me and a handful of my friends, who turned out to be this group called the Friends of Lynn Woods, have fought tooth and nail to stop in 1971. Route 95, and Kara, you would know this, Route 95 was going to go right through Lynn Woods. They were going to connect it through Boston. They actually took houses for eminent domain and all of that, and they were building the highway down the Marsh Road here in Lynn. All the sand was there. It was already underway, and that went all the way to the governor, and he vetoed it, Governor Sargent. So that was as close as you could come to getting Lynn Woods destroyed. There would have been an on-ramp right near my wife's house where she grew up, right? And it would have cut the woods in half. And then after that, there's no reason to keep it. There's a highway going through it, right? So you could just see how that would play out. So we were lucky there. Since then, they need a high school. They were going to put that up there. They were going to extend the golf course another 9 holes. They were going to just take that out of the woods. They were going to open up some land for development in the middle of it, right over the watershed. So we just been fighting and fighting and fighting, and we had no protection. The designation of the land was ambiguous, right? So this is a fight I have been in since I was 16 years old. I am pretty close to 65 years old now, okay? Yeah. I never really thought that this would come to fruition. They tried to put a conservation restriction on it probably 30 years ago, and the mayor changed during the time it was happening, and the new mayor kiboshed it. So they did all the work, spent all the money, and then the new mayor came in and said, no, I don't want it. And so the people who did the work, they were not anxious to get involved with a corrupt place again, really is how you describe this, right? So 8 years ago, again, the Friends of Lynn Woods started the process of putting a conservation restriction on Lynn Woods. The DCR, the Department of, I don't know what it is, but those guys that handle Lynn Beach and all that stuff, that's a state agency, and this other organization called Essex County Greenbelt. They got together, they wrote up a charter, they told what it was going to be, they did all the things, they did a deed search. It took thousands of dollars to figure out who owned what land. They're going to have to take some by eminent domain, who bought this parcel, who owns it, all that stuff. 8 years, and then we still think that they were going to snatch it away from us, because when you've been fighting a fight for 45 years, you can't believe that you're going to win it, can you? I mean, I don't know. But what I'm going to do for you now So I'm going to read a series of texts between me and the ranger of the park. His name is Dan. And he's my man, right? He's the guy. So the first text that I'm going to read you is right after the meeting at City Hall. And I texted him and I said, "How are we feeling about getting this thing through to the finish?" And he says, I really think it's going to happen, which he's been saying to me now for 8 years, by the way. So now I said, "When is the water and sewer vote?" And he says, "Not set yet." So just so you know how, Kara, this, because you're in politics, you will understand this. Yeah. The city council passed this 11-1 with some murmuring, right? But the Water and Sewer Commission is a group of appointees, right? They're appointed, and it's like a dark room where good ideas go in and never come out. Right? That's one of those places like that. They're not answerable to anybody. So we were so nervous that, that one of these contractors who want this land will get to one of those guys. There's only 5 guys there, and we need 3 votes, right? So at the meeting that I was at, I know I'm going through this, but this means so much to me. I just want to talk out loud about it to somebody. Yeah, please. So at the meeting, my ward councilor, his name is Jay Walsh, and he's the only representative. Well, I shouldn't say that, but really he stands out because he's in it for the right reasons. He's a hunter and all that, so he likes the woods. He's not. Most of them don't even know it's there. They never, right. But so at this meeting, one of the guys was barking about the Water and Sewer Commission not having enough power and authority. And he stood up and he said, he pointed at the lawyer for the Water and Sewer Commission and he said, "How many people are on the Water and Sewer Commission?" He knows all this, but this is just to have it in the record. He said 5. "How many of the 5 are appointed by the council that just voted 11-0 for this to happen?" He said 3. He said, "How many votes do we need to pass this thing?" He said, the lawyer said 3. And he said, "I want this in the record." So what he was saying is, your cushy job is at stake because we appoint you and we all just voted. It was the strongest thing I ever saw in regard to this on behalf of the woods. It was, he was just putting the hammer down, right? And so then, a few days later, I'm with my grandsons, and I get this text. The text is just one line from the ranger. It says, "It passed tonight," which means it passed the Water and Sewer Commission, which is really a miracle. Okay. It's where good ideas go to die, in there, right? And then I said, "Is that the last obstacle?" And these are the last 2 lines he wrote to me. He says, "Yes, it is over. You can die now."
Oh, congratulations, Tom. That is wonderful.
All right.
But don't.
I feel like crying, honest to God.
And he tears up.
I can't even believe it. Like so now it has to go to the state and they have to vote on it, but it's a done deal. This thing that passed, that's where it would have got stuck. That's where corruption had its influence. I hate to say that, and they'll probably hear this and think that I'm being hard on it, but there's a long history of the woods not being treated well by this little group here.
So when you say it goes to the state, are you talking about a state agency, or are you talking about?
Oh, the legislature has to just stamp it.
Well, no, there's parts to that. So we should probably talk later and make sure it's supported and the people phone in.
Well, yeah, if it needs that, we'll know. I'm not done fighting. I'm not relaxing it, but the people who really know now, the state itself has spent a lot of money, the DCR, on this. 50,000 or more, and it's got momentum now and a tailwind, and it's out of the hands of Lynn now, right? And so everybody seems to think that it's no problem. The ex-mayor of Lynn was a rep up there, McGee, and all that, and he's for it. So.
Oh, Tommy McGee?
Yeah, he was the mayor of Lynn just until Tuesday. And Pete Capano is up there now, and he was a rep here in Lynn. So we don't, like, it would be, I don't know, again, like the Yankees, they can steal the game from the Red Sox in the ninth inning, I know. But we believe that this is a done deal. It's not etched in stone, but I am really happy. So on top of that, I got my books, I'm moving, my life is changing, I'm all that. And then this thing I've been fighting for 45 years is done. As far as I'm concerned, it's done, and we won. We won, and we beat the money. The money. There's so much money to be made off the part of Lynn Woods that's near Route 1. Oh my, I could talk about it for days, but I'm not gonna. But I am gonna play this song because I wrote this song after we voted a union into my company. It won by 2 votes, and so, but the chorus always makes me think about moments like this. From a tax shelter offshore, some kid said my job had been eliminated. He said, "Thank you for your service and for working so hard." Blah blah, lie lie, half truth, blah blah. He expected me to be petrified, get in the fetal position, start to cry. But I just kept thinking that he was underestimating me. Cause my team is on a winning streak. We haven't lost a game all week. Underestimated people are hard to beat. My team is on a winning streak. Every 2 years, some brand new guy calls a big meeting to tell us why things will get a lot better now that he's in charge. Blah blah, lie lie, half truth, blah blah. And then all the working people try not to grin while they're hearing these promises again. Nothing gets better. 2 years go by, and then we're sitting at a meeting with a brand new guy. My team is on a winning streak. We haven't lost a game all week. Underestimated people are hard to beat. My team is on a winning streak. He said what you did to me just wasn't right, so I hired a lawyer and I plan to fight. He said you are so adorable. He patted my head and he closed the door. You know, the greatest gift they gave to me was to not take me seriously. Cause anything can happen, it can happen fast. No one believes that you have half a chance. From a tax shelter offshore, some kid said my job had been eliminated. But I just kept thinking that he was underestimating me. Cause my team is on a winning streak. We haven't lost a game all week. Underestimated people are hard to beat. My team is on a winning streak.
It sure is.
It's important to know that these fights are sometimes multi-generational. Like we talked about last week, most of them never got to vote in a federal election. But if you don't do the work, even though it's like planting a tree. Is there an old saying about that? Like most of the people who enjoy the shade of the tree you plant will be doing it after you're gone, right? But that's not a reason not to plant the tree. That's a reason, without you doing it, there's no shade. So it's an important lesson here. There was no guarantee that I would live to see this, that it would ever happen, or I would live to see it. But I did live to see it. Something I really cared about all my life. Just me and a handful of other people. Like I don't think, and originally there was 5 of us. And now it's done. Now it is done. So there you go. Feeling pretty good. Neil, hello. Nice backdrop there. Who are those two young hippies? My word.
Hey, and I just got it today, and I even ordered another one for a friend of our dear friend Richard Fox. So,
Well, you might want to read it before you start ordering it for other people. Maybe you don't like it.
Big fan of yours. I think she's from Kansas, actually.
So I got my books, I don't know, a week ago, Friday maybe, and I've been sending them out, and let me show you.
Nicely wrapped, too, I have to say.
Well, thank you. So there's my book, and like I've been showing something like this, but it wasn't the book. I just put one of the jackets on my old book, but this is it. So when I go to read from it today, you'll notice like before when I was reading from my book, I couldn't do this and do it, but now I can. Look, those are words. Those are actually my stories in there. There it is, and I want to thank everybody that pre-ordered. The pre-ordering process is a lifesaver. Honestly, it's so expensive to do this. It's just so you know, $12,000 cost me to manufacture these books and to get them and all the things I had to do ahead of time. So there was no income after I dumped out a mess of that money, except for people pre-ordering, and it really made a difference. So thank you. If you know anybody that might want to abuse for Christmas, order one for them. I'll read from it a little later. I'm running out of good things to read from it. I've read all the good parts. The rest of it's really just kind of filler. Sorry. Does anybody want to hear anything? Let's see. Let me look in the chat, see what people are saying. All right. Sarah. All right. Well.
Could use a little rascal.
I'll be happy to play that for you. And so, just let me know what you want. So just so you know, I'm gonna do one more of these next week, and then I decided that I'm not gonna do it again until January. So come next week, and we'll have a big party, and I won't invite guests for the after party. We'll just have like a big talk session after, and connect as friends, and then I'm gonna take off until January and get moved and get everything going, and then maybe once a month or something like that. I don't want to give it up. I love you guys, and it's fun for me. It really kept me alive through this thing. So, all right, here we go. Just so you know, this song and the lyrics to it and the chords are in the back of this book. So if you can play these 4 chords right here, G, E minor, C, and D7. You too can entertain your friends with this song. Rascal is the dog, he ain't too bright. Me and Rascal were sitting on the couch last night when my woman come in and started to cry. She looked at us with such terror in her eyes. She said, I have raised these children for 18 years. Now they're growing up, moving out of here, and my big reward for all I've been through is this dog as dumb as mud. And you, yippee-yahoo! Rascal looked at me in disbelief. He said, she can't be talking about you and me. She has got us to spend the rest of her whole life with. Would you please tell her how incredibly lucky she is? And I said, who's gonna love you any better than this? We'll wake you up every morning with big wet kisses when we hear the police sirens in your neighborhood. We throw our heads up in the air and we howl for you. Oh! Everybody unmuted at the end of the song, we'll all howl. Because that's cool. You gotta admit, that's pretty cool. You know, I don't believe we had succeeded in convincing her of the outrageous good fortune that had befallen her. In fact, instead of looking happy as she could be, she looked a little bit suicidal to me. But hey, kids go to college, kids move away, but dogs and husbands, that's who stays. To you it seems like a big trick of fate, but me and Rascal don't see it that way. We're thinking, ain't we cuddly, ain't we cute? We are both real funny, both real true. There's another thing about us that's a very cool lot. If you scratch us on our belly, our left leg moves. And you gotta admit that's cool. Ooh. Ow. Well, okay, so maybe we ain't that smart. We're a couple of mutts with a lot of heart. I'm looking at Rick with his dog right there, and no one could love me better. I'll give you more loyalty than this dog, and Neil with his dog. This dog is dumb as mud. This dog is dumb as mud. And me, how lucky can one girl be? She got a dog like you and a man like me. We'll be together well into this next century. Put that knife down, baby. Alright, so everybody unmute and howl. We won't let latency go us. This is not singing. You can howl.
Ready, buddy.
A minute and a half behind, a second and a half behind me, it doesn't matter. Alright? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Ow! There we go. Alright.
Yay.
Hey Don, we got a request on Facebook for B16 with me from Leslie Briggs, just so you know.
Okay, I'll play that for Lillian. Hello to everyone on Facebook over there and YouTube over there. You're welcome to come over here like Rick has finally done with his dog there. Brandon will put the access information for Zoom in there, and you can come over and I can see your face and talk to you in between songs, or you can remain anonymous over there. That's okay too. So let's see, what are we gonna do? I don't know. So I guess I'll play that song for her. So this is for Leslie over there on Facebook. Our kids are grown, they're both in their 20s. They live at home, they are never gonna leave. Why should they go? They've got a good ear, you know. Their food, their phone, their rent is free. They would have to be out of their minds to leave. But I was thinking, what if things were different? You know, living here at home with you and me. What if we decided we could act like they both did when they were in their teens? So wake up, mama, climb out of this window. I have got the key, let's steal our daughter's car. We'll both get really drunk, we'll put a big dent in her trunk. And we'll drive real fast on the thoroughfare. If we get a speeding ticket, hey, we won't care. We'll be the ones up all night acting wild. They'll be the ones up all night worrying. We go, mama, climb out of this window. Come on out and be 16 with me. Picture our kids calling all of our friends up, asking them if they know where we are. Of course, all our friends will lie. They say they ain't seen us all night, but we'll be standing right beside them while they're on the phone, smoking and drinking and carrying on when we come strolling home on a Sunday morning. You know, around 10 o'clock while the neighbors walk to church. Our kids will ask us where we've been, and then they'll ask us again. We will just make up a great big lie and swear that it's the truth until the day we die, and they'll be the ones trying to find the truth out. We'll be the ones who are lying through our teeth. Under pressure, we'll confess that we had unprotected sex. That will gross them out so much they might just start to think about moving out if turnabout is fair play in this life. And what better way to encourage them to live and to give them both a dose of what it was like to live with them when they were in their teens. So wake up, mama, climb out of this window. I have got the key, let's steal our daughter's car. We'll both get really drunk, we'll put a big dent in her trunk, and no one will know where we are till we come home in the police car. We'll be the ones up all night acting wild. They'll be the ones up all night worrying. Wake up, mama, climb out of this window. Oh man, be careful. You're not as young as you used to be by any stretch of the imagination. You know, the kids are both drunk and passed out. Let's just go out the front door. Come on out and be 16 with me. There you go, Facebook. Hope you like that.
All right, John, that was beautiful. I love that.
Yay! Good work.
All right, so here, I'm going to read something I haven't read yet from the book. Mostly what I've been reading are things that have a ton of humor in them. This one does not. This is kind of a suspenseful thing that happened. And so when you read the book, it won't be all jokes and laughter and all that stuff. It's a nice mix, I think, or I'm trying to make it a nice mix. But let me give you a little heads up on this. So in the third year that we were traveling, the first years we just moved all the time. We were 18 years old. We just couldn't stop moving. Destinations were like a place to rest. Movement was the destination. We went to Alaska. Just kept going. We were young. By the time the third year came, 79, we were done with that. Now we were like seeking out interesting people. So wherever we went, if we liked the people that were there, we would stay until we didn't feel right anymore. And sometimes it would be quite a long time. So this was in Taos, which is not far from where Shannon and Tim are now in New Mexico. And we went up there for 6 weeks. After 4 weeks, a ranger came over and threw us out. He said, "You can't live here." We said, "Well, let me just get it straight. We can keep living, just not here, right?" He said yes. And he chased us. We went up into the mountains, right? So we went up into the mountains, and we were with these 2 older women. They were named Rayleigh and Solar. I hope they're still alive. They would be in their 80s now. They were 40 years old and living in a van, left their lives behind, and they kind of adopted us and were mothering us. There was a water near us. The ice was melting at the 13,000 foot level, and so it was rushing by us, maybe 12-foot wide stream, which probably the rest of the year was half that size, but it was exploding down near us, melted snow. Okay, so that's sort of the background. In a sense, Teresa, Rayleigh, Solar, and I were all runaways. For different reasons, and at different times in our lives, we had left the worlds we had known, thrown caution to the wind, and slipped quietly into the unforeseeable. The 2 young people who joined our mountain camping area that day were runaways in the traditional sense. They were each 16 years old and had run away from the kind of home lives that imbued their eyes with a sadness that we recognized and empathized with instantly. One of the things that Teresa and I had in common was the fact that we were well loved. Our parents loved us. Being loved unconditionally was something that we knew from birth. It's the kind of thing you can learn to see in people. The eyes of a person who grew up without love can't conceal that fact from someone who knows what to look for. This boyfriend and girlfriend, babies in so many ways, had fled their homes for a life that, to us veterans of the road, they seemed profoundly unprepared to navigate. We were seeking, they were escaping. They had no plan beyond getting away from what we could only assume were hellish situations. We were 6 years older than them, but in worldliness we were old enough to be their parents. Under the watchful eyes of the two matriarchs who had done the same for us, we adopted them and wrapped them in the warm arms of our impromptu family of kindred spirits. They looked so lost. We all ached for them. I don't know what happened to these kids after we parted ways. I hope the world was good to them and that they grew to break the chains of neglect and abuse that life had dealt them. I do know what happened to them while we were together. The four of us took a walk in the woods, a short distance from where we had tied some food in the water. Me and the boyfriend. A short distance from where our provisions had once been briefly tethered, there was a fallen tree that bridged the river. Me and the boyfriend crossed without incident. The girlfriend slid off the tree and plunged into the river's merciless cascade. In an instant, she was in a fight for her life against an opponent with unlimited and unrelenting power. She was hanging onto the fallen tree for dear life. The river was pounding her. It was entirely too much force for her to pull herself out, and there was no footing within reaching distance for any of us to try to extract her. She was horizontal. The force of the water had already begun the process of pulling her body downriver. Only her face was above the water, and the waves were covering it every 2 seconds. She was turning white. The water was freshly melted snow. It was freezing. She was freezing. This happened over 40 years ago, but right now my heart is racing and my hands are trembling above the keyboard. This is when I learned how, in a split second, a situation can change from one that is carefree to one where the most likely outcome is death. A couple of paragraphs ago, I said that Teresa and I felt like we could be these kids' parents. I was wrong about that. We were not nearly grown up enough to know how to deal with what was happening. The boyfriend and I climbed into the water at the edge where the force wasn't overpowering. We each grabbed an overhanging branch with one hand to keep partially anchored to the land. It looked to me like the river would push her toward us if she let go, but seriously, I had no idea what would happen. Teresa was lying on the fallen tree. Their faces were inches from each other. Teresa kept screaming, "You are not going to drown. Let go, they'll catch you." The panic in this poor child's eyes was a sight neither of us will ever forget. She knew that these may be her last few breaths in this world. Finally, Teresa pulled her fingers from the death grip they held on the fallen tree, and her body came hurtling down the rapids. If we had to step out more than a foot or two to get her, all three of us would have gone downriver to certain, and I mean certain, death. In less than a second, she was as near to us as she would ever be, and I, and the 16-year-old runaway boyfriend, with the sad eyes and the broken spirit, reached out our free hands. Mine grabbed her shirt, which thankfully did not tear or pull off, and he snatched her arm. We pulled her out with more strength than either of us knew we could generate. Out of the rampaging water and back into a life that really didn't need any more trauma. There you go.
Oh. Hell of a story.
I haven't come to that passage yet, but sounds great.
Thank you.
That's beautiful, Don. I love it.
It really was.
Who was it that said that? So I can.
It's beautiful, Don. It's Sarah. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, so there you go. So I hope those of you that got the book, I hope you like it. I certainly, it's got a lot of me in it. So normally we would have a poet right around here, but it was pretty difficult to find one today. But I'm wondering if, let's see, if is Tim there at Shannon? No.
Yeah, he's here.
Does he want to read something for us? Could we impose?
Go to the other room. He's gonna go to the other room. One moment, please. Talk amongst yourselves.
Professional organization, don't you think? We're trying to get this show ready for Vegas. How we doing?
Hey Don, while we're talking amongst ourselves, just so I'm sure you'd want to know this, Richard Fox is doing a live gig tonight in Worcester, and
He
he said to
called
send,
me. He called me yesterday.
yeah, and he said to send his love to you, and he's looking forward to your book as well. And
Yeah, he's Richard Fox, as you guys, some of you know, he came and read for us. He's really sick with cancer, has been for a long time, and now he's in a transitional period. His old medication stopped working, and now
Right.
he's in a fragile state. So I'm nervous about him going out in public, but
Me
he
too.
promised me he's gonna wrap himself in into.
Want your bars in the freezer?
Yeah, he's gonna.
Yeah, he did tell me today that the place that he's going to be with another person, I can't remember the other person's name. Everybody has to be vaccinated and masked, and they're not serving any food at all. So he said he'll be like in a cocoon.
Yeah, well, we're all dealing with this, but if he gets it, it doesn't
Oh, I
matter.
know, I know.
He's so sick. So, somebody I went to school with just died from COVID. It's still real, boys and girls. It's still.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I'm not sure we're gonna be able to wait for Tim here. There he is.
Yeah,
Tim,
there he is.
Shot, Tim. All right.
Yeah.
Hey Tim.
So so we're just dragging in poets. Like I just reaching my hand out the car window and yanking in a poet. Good thing you were walking down the street. So.
I know. It's amazing how you can do that.
Well, the world is just filthy with poets. you can't whistle out the car window without hitting one. Well, I'm only gonna do two more of these, Tim. So I thought, since I don't have anybody, it would be nice to hear from you once more before I take off until next year. So, what do you got for us, buddy?
Okay. How about this one? The forest, like the phoenix, rises from its own ashes. Life from death in the river of time. Below the snows, the seeds stir. Now, green buds showed the acorn the ways of the oak, for the wounded woodlands listened when the river spoke of healing from within, always beginning, always the end, always to the ocean, always to see that the changes will come round again, yet again, yet again. So, Washichu, the center is spinning like a gyroscope, so singular in motion that motion ceases to matter, steady, only at high speeds and on smooth surfaces, spinning, creating its internal hum. Om. Earth axes glide through smooth, sleek space, still lake shimmer. One people, one planet, one galaxy, one universe, living, breathing, spinning, creating its eternal Om. Falling inward, diving through self, I soar through walls of fear and doubt, deeper into a consciousness shared by all. Trusting the process, engaged in the how, I discover the patterns of my life, and following them, discover who I be. And today I be the flora, today I be the fauna, today I be a tree, reaching roots, pushing roots deeply into the soil, reaching for the sky and find them, new life through the cycles and seasons of changes, and yet to be constant with purpose to grow and become what you are. To be free is to be a tree.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey Tim.
Nice
Nice
job,
job,
Tim.
my friend.
Woo!
Man, that was awesome. Man.
Woo! Awesome job, Tim.
Right.
Right. Just, poet on call. Thanks, Tim. Well, talk to us a little bit about the 8:30 Club. What's going on? The 8:30 Club is online Zoom based thing, very interactive that Tim is running. So what's the word? What's the good word?
Right, and Shannon has a lot to do with it. Basically, it's trying to create a virtual venue. And the events are a lot like this. There's after parties. We use the side rooms. We try to generate bonus content for the events and encourage participation. So monthly, Richard Cambridge, who some of you will remember from his guest spot here, produces a Poets Theater. We have on the 23rd coming up, Sarah Oktay, who is a renowned environmental scientist as well as a writer. And then in December, we've got a solstice show coming up. Marianne Kreitlow, who used to be in Boston, teaming up with Ann Heyman and her partner Charlie. And Ann is a expert in the Celtic harp plays, ancient Celtic harps. They're putting together a really fully produced show for the solstice. I'm working on one with Don on storytelling for 22. I'm also working on a special with photographers who all photograph Southern Utah, but do it in a completely different way. So we've got a fellow who takes time-lapse nighttime photography, another one who uses multiple shots and creates photo structures. I was able to connect with my friend Ken Sanders in Salt Lake City. Ken Sanders, Rare Books. He's been on Antique Roadshow. He was the first guy that published Edward Abbey, Monkey Wrench Gang. He's quite a character. He's going to do some storytelling, poetry to places in Utah. A couple other photographers that are coming up, and there will be a lot in the galleries as well. That's probably going to be in March. So we're just rolling ahead, trying to grind these things out, trying to build a set of people. So while y'all are missing Don, if you want to pop over, we'll have shows in end of November and mid-December. And so you can still come back and team up.
Yeah, I recommend it highly. Tim is a big, important person in my life, and he's a very creative man and has done a lot. And this thing that he's got going is worth, put it on your radar. Just pop in, should check it out. So, Sarah, look at you and your new digs. Are you like in your honeymoon suite? Is that it? Is that where you guys are? There you go.
I just lost you.
No, you didn't. I'm right here.
I'm on Pete's computer. I have no idea how to use a Mac.
Hit the wrong button. You'll find out what Pete's been doing when you weren't looking.
I know. No, we're down in Malibu for my birthday this weekend, and we also have another engagement on Saturday night. So we made a weekend of it because we had today off, and we also have tomorrow off. So 52 I turned yesterday. Yay!
Yay!
I'm a deck of cards. Nothing missing.
Awesome.
So John, this is the last one for the year.
Next week will be the last one. Then I'm just gonna try to get moved in and settled in.
Sounds good.
And next, January, maybe once a month or something. We'll see how it goes. So next week, everybody come in and we'll end we'll have the after party just be like this. We'll just talk and hang around and build our friendships. It's a good group. So I'm gonna play one song, and then we'll take a little break. Again, it's free. Don't worry about it. But if you can donate, we still need to eat around here. Turns out you wouldn't know it by looking at us that we need to eat, but it's true. I'm gonna just try to knock out some requests. This is for Sandra up in New Hampshire, who's very generous, and she comes. I think she watches on one of the other platforms, but she comes every week, and so here. And this is for Sarah, who used to live in Lynn. I was born in the city of Lynn, home of the first turbine engine. And as if that wasn't enough, it's also the home of marshmallow fluff. You can travel the whole country, you'll never find a bigger fluff factory. From Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn just act this way. I don't talk slick like I'm from the Hant. I'm the son of a 30-year GE man. Don't be staring at me that way, I am from Lynn. What can I say? I used to hang around at Barry Park. That's illegal after it gets dark. Stand on the bleachers where things got smoked and beer got chugged, 11 bottles got broke. Later in the evening when the police come, 27 juveniles are on the run. Juveniles are running everywhere you see, jumping over fences, climbing in trees. But dawn is too low to get away. His name is in the paper on the next day. His mother and his father, they can't believe he would publicly humiliate the family. I said, Mom from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn act this way. I don't talk slick, that's what I said. I'm not from Swampscott or Marblehead. Don't be staring at me that way. I am from Lynn, what can I say? On the corner of every street, somebody's cooking something greasy to eat. Deep fat is frying everywhere you look. The town is bound for the record books. It's a million sub shops open all night long. A socio-intestinal phenomenon. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn eat this way. No room in my stomach for French cuisine. Give me a bag of cheese curls and a submarine. Julia Child, get out of my way. I am from Lynn, what can I say? I left Lynn 10 years ago. I didn't know where I was gonna go. 10 of my friends were leaning up against the bar and grill. 10 years later, they're leaning there still. Half of my friends who are not on the street are dead in jail or annoying me. And I'm from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn act this way. I don't talk slick, that's what I said. They won't even let me into Marblehead. They're afraid I'll steal something, and you know. It could happen. Don't be staring at me that way. I'm from Lynn, what can I say?
Oh, done. All right.
Woo! All right. So I'm just gonna have a glass of water. I'll be back in a minute. And Neil, thank you for the fluff background. You know, so Marshmallow Fluff, for those of you that don't know, is made here in Lynn, Massachusetts. The company's called Durkee Mower. Don't eat it. it's only good with Pete. Tell Pete that it's bad for you, right? That it's just sugar. That's all it is. But it's good to have a jar of it around in case the tile in your bathtub, like on the wall, if it starts to crack in between, you just take your thumb and just put it in there like that, and it's cheaper than buying the stuff at the hardware store, and it will last longer. It will last forever. It's an environmentally indestructible product. Right?
That bottle's in my house.
Here in my hometown. Thank you. If you can throw a few bucks my way, the information is in your chats. I'll be back in a couple minutes. I'll try to get to as many requests as I can. I love you, and we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Okay.
Brandon, can you hear that okay?
Yep.
All right, everybody, thanks. I'm gonna play just a couple songs, get to around 8:30. Have our after party. We have Mark Stepikoff and David Timulevich popping by to sing some songs and have some conversation. It's a gathering place for friends here. I lost my mother, I lost my father. Well, I really didn't lose them. I know exactly where they both are. It's not Betty May is 82. She's having more fun than me and you. All she wants to do is laugh and sing. She's the biggest flirt I ever seen. Still flutters those baby blues like she did when she was 22. So much mischief in those eyes. I never seen someone more alive. More alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. When my mother died, I was so smashed up inside. I was crying like a baby. I thought the pain might kill me. And Betty said, son, you won't believe how many loved ones I buried. My father, sister, my brother, my son, my husband, and my mother. And every time I lose a friend, I think I'm never going to laugh again. I lay around and watch bad TV till this feeling comes over me. Then I put some music on and play my favorite song, dance around my living room like I did when I was 22. To shake loose of that pain inside on the day when I decide not only will I survive, I'm going to be more alive. More alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. She said, go ahead, feel your pain. Watch bad TV for days. When you're ready to come out and play, yo, come see Betty May. And we'll put some music on and play your favorite song. Dance around my living room like we did when I was 22. Shake loose of that pain inside on the day when you decide not only will you survive, you're going to be more alive. More alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, in time they can make you more alive.
Beautiful, Don. Love that song.
Thank you. Haven't played that one for a while. I'm gonna play another one I haven't played for a while. Not sure I can remember it, but I'm gonna try. Jane, who requested the story about Maddie Campbell. It's too long for me to put in this segment, but if you come next week, the sort of last week before the big break, and remind me early. I'm happy to tell that story for you. And thanks for requesting it. So I sat around with a bunch of stoners. I listened to them talk all night long. They were sure that their conversation was deep with meaning. They were wrong. 'Cause when you smoke it, it makes you stupid. I thought you knew it, but I was wrong. We're not having a conversation. This is nothing at all. My friend Harry lit up a fatty to celebrate my brand new job. I watched his brain float out of my window. He left me talking to an empty block. 'Cause when you smoke it, it makes you stupid. I thought you knew it, but I was wrong. We're not having a conversation. We're doing nothing at all. What if our whole life was just a dream, man? What if we're dreaming this right now? I forgot what I was just saying. Let's order pizza. Wow! 'Cause when you smoke it, it makes you stupid. I thought you knew it, but I was wrong. We're not having a conversation. This is nothing at all. It cures glaucoma. It cures insomnia. You can make pants out of it, I read. It cures glaucoma. It cures insomnia. Some people say that it is a cancer cure, but it does not cure incoherent conversation. That's for sure.
Oh, Don. All right.
Pissing off all the stoners in the world. That's me.
Right on, man. Let's order pizza.
Oh man. So I have an idea for a poem that I'm gonna write. So I'll throw this out there, and you can write it instead. Maybe you do a better job than me. But I think I can write something about this. So when my mind is not working good, like when I can't think well, I've learned to go outside. Just to go outside and take a walk. And sometimes within 5 minutes, but certainly within a half an hour, I remember who I am, and I get myself back again. Whatever was bothering me, I generally can figure out how to do it, but I can't seem to do it if it's a big problem inside. And I think it's because I'm made out of the same stuff the stars are, and my thoughts need to bounce off the stars in order to come back to me completely formed. So somewhere in that idea, I think there's a poem for Dawn. So if you want a homework assignment here, come back next week with a poem about how your thoughts are no good if there's a ceiling over them. All right. Thanks to everybody who bought the book. This is it. It's called The Hitchhiking Years. I'm starting to get some feedback now. People are saying that it's funny, which I hoped it was funny. I didn't know, and it's got a lot of heart in it, and I poured my guts into it. It makes a good Christmas gift for the weirdo in your family who's a Dawn White fan. I'll sign it for them and all that. That information is in the chat. I'm going to play this last song here before we have our after party for Neil. Neil Braverman, with those of you that come here all the time, you kind of know him a little bit. He always has the most interesting backdrops there. Neil is really one of the best people that I know. He's just you're just privileged, just feel privileged to be walking around the same earth as him. And someday maybe he'll talk, Neil, if you're comfortable with this, we'll talk about, how your health issues started, and like his story is unbelievable. The amount of surgeries he's had and how he got them and how it started. And he's never complained. He's just a joyous human being and lives for the benefit of others. If Neil Braverman is your friend and he can do something for you, you're all set. You're in good shape. And I suppose that everybody is that way. That's in my world to some degree. But Neil is the gold standard. So, Neil, I love you if you're still here. And this is a song that Neil asked me to play. I'm going to end my set with it. Take just a little break, and then we'll come back and have our after party and our gathering. But again, I want to thank everybody for being so nice to me and for helping me stay alive during COVID and during writing of this book. This song is called That's What Makes You Beautiful. The song made it into the book. As I told you last week, I wound up having to do 40 pages, so I threw a bunch of song lyrics in the book. It had to do with the thickness of the book. Like, the book would have been 40 pages thinner than this, because of the paper. They couldn't get paper that was thick enough, so I wanted it to feel like it was worth the money. So I put a bunch of song lyrics and some stuff in there and some chords. So this song is not recorded anywhere except here, on YouTube, but it's not on a CD or anything. But if you like it and you have the book, the chords are in there, and the lyrics. So it's called That's What Makes You.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome, Neil. I love you, man. And so this is called That's What Makes You Beautiful. And basically, you've heard me say this a lot. If you survived a childhood that didn't have a lot of love or kindness or generosity or compassion in it, but you turned out to be all of those things, you had to do it on your own. And I think that's a miracle and worthy of praise and not likely to happen. So the fact that you did it deserves a song. It's called That's What Makes You Beautiful. It's got a lot of words in it because I hang around with people like Tim Mason and poets, and they just make me wordy. Thanks for another good night, everybody. You were taught by your world that empathy and kindness were the kind of things that made a person weak. They said push and grab and fight every minute of your life and trample those between you and what you believe you need. From the moment you were born, in your heart there was a song you could hear through all the years of fear and insecurity, singing cruelty is always weak, but love and empathy are strong enough to break the chains of selfishness and greed. Gentle is the strongest thing to be. You know it is not your fault that heroin and alcohol made them both too ill to give their children what they really need. But it sure would have been nice to be encouraged once or twice, to feel safe at night, or to have a life with just a little normalcy. But from the moment you were born, in your heart there was a song you could hear hear through all those years of fear and insecurity. When you feel hatred in your heart, you just remember who you are, and that underneath the weight of hate, your heart cannot be free. Forgiving is the stronger thing to be. It's not the color of your eyes, it's not your hypnotizing smile, it's not any of the many things that everyone can see. It's the way you always knew what they told you wasn't true. It's how you made yourself the person that they taught you not to be. That's what makes you beautiful to me. A young man's eyes see beauty in what is on the surface, not within. He will walk past what is beautiful to be near the thing that shines. But these old man's eyes find beauty in the story, in the journey. They have seen too much to be fooled by what attracts a young man's eyes. From the moment you were born, in your heart there was a song. You could hear through all those years of fear and insecurity. There was nothing that this world could do to crush the love inside of you. Under neglect, abuse, and selfishness, you were caring, kind, and generous. It is the lonely road that brought you here. It's how all alone you persevered. It's the defiance and tenacity of your heart song of humanity. That's what makes you beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful to me.
Oh, Don, thanks so much. I love that song.
Thanks,
What it means.
Don.
You're welcome.
We love it. We love it.
You know how much I love you all. Thanks for making Thursdays good for me. I'm gonna take a break if you can. Throw a few bucks my way. I appreciate it. I'll think about you at Market Basket here in Lynn. I'm only making a few more trips to Market Basket in Lynn. I'm gonna have to find one up there in New Hampshire. It's so funny, like in my house, my new house, if you go left, you go to New Hampshire. It's kind of Donald Trump-y section of New Hampshire over there. If you go right, it gets like hipstery. You know, like Amesbury is like a hipster town. It's like it's like CBD cafes and all that. So we're a cusp species where we are now. We're gonna have to find a Market Basket up there, and I don't know. Well, so many changes, so many things. Thank you all for being here. I'll be back in just a couple minutes, and maybe 1 minute, and we'll have David and Mark Stepikov, and we'll have a few laughs. We'll sing a few songs, tell some stories, and utilize the technology to create community. I love you all dearly. I'll see you in just a minute. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yep.
Yes. Hello.
Yep.
Loud
Okay.
and clear, loud and clear.
Well, so this is it's a wonderful part of this thing here. I get to see my friends. So I'm going to start with my friend Mark Stepakov. He was with us once before. He's a lovely man. And Mark, we didn't get a chance to sound check. So why don't you play and sing a little bit just to, we'll just call this a sound check.
All right, I'll just play something I wasn't counting on playing down, and I'll just play a snippet of it, and if it sounds all right, I'll go into something that I was planning on playing. So this will be.
That sounds good. That sounds good, Mark. Yeah.
Well, it's good on ribs, and it's great on steak. Yeah, I use it to liven up everything I like to make. When I put my chef's hat on, I'm the boss, and I say everything tastes better with barbecue sauce. All right, so how'd that sound?
That sounds good. Yeah. So
good enough for the after party.
Good enough for the after party. That's right. Mark, how are you? You feeling okay? Everybody all right?
Well, Don, congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
And congratulations on Lynn Woods. That sounds like a great victory. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna get. It's gonna take me a year to get out of a 45-year the fighting position. Do you know what I mean? Like I have to rewire my brain to not have to fight this fight no more. But thank you for saying that.
Well, it took the Red Sox 86 years there to 45 is not that bad, really. So.
My dad said when the Red Sox won the World Series, he said, "I believe there's going to be 40,000 empty nursing home beds in New England tomorrow." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Everybody that was born in 1919 is just going to put a big smile on their face and roll their heads back and check out."
Right. That's right. So, all right. Well, thanks for asking me to play. Hey, everybody. I've enjoyed the whole night, and I'll play a song for you. I guess I'll play this one. This is a song that combines two different subject matters that are often found in folk and country songs, and they are whiskey and financial planning.
Woo!
In those business classes I took as a student, I was taught to save most of my pay and invest it in assets believed to be prudent, like a CD and 401k. But since you left me, my darling, I've turned all of my holdings over to a new management team. The entire amount has been placed on account with Daniels, Walker, and Beam. I was planning a glorious future together with a nest egg to keep you secure. But then you met someone I guess you loved better. Now I don't need a nest egg no more. But I'm receiving returns of a kind you can't get from no Ponzi or pyramid scheme. You broke this poor heart of mine, but I'm feeling just fine, thanks to Daniels, Walker, and Beam. Mr. Beam's quite a fellow, he's strong, but he's mellow. Mr. Daniels' friends all call him Jack. Well, Mr. Walker determines the extent that your earnings will end up in the red or the black. Now I know past performance is no guarantee of future investment returns, but whenever I need them, they've been right there for me to help me deal with my going concerns. Today they'll join me at lunch, but I've got a hunch they'll still be there at the dawn's early gleam. And when they cart me away, I'll just have one thing to say. Thank you, Daniels, Walker, and Beam. Yes, if you're in a pinch, we'll just forget Merrill Lynch and go with Daniels, Walker, and Beam.
Oh, Mark, that was great.
All right, Mark.
Way to go, Mark. Way to go.
Cheers.
Yeah.
That's the kind of advice people used to give me when I used to hang around Frank's bar. You know,
Yeah, that's
it
right.
sounded good when they were saying it, but I don't think in the long term it paid off.
You know, Don, it's the old songwriting adage, you have to write what you know.
That was really good, Mark. So next time through, we'll chat a little bit, see what you're up to. Let's hear it from Mark Stepakov.
Oh, Mark. Good to see you, my friend.
All right, so now my good friend David Tamulevich is here, coming to us from Ann Arbor, Michigan, one of the hipsteriest towns in all the world, which I'm going to be there in Ann Arbor, Michigan on December 3rd. You know me, I'll be the guy wrapped in bubble wrap, trying not to breathe any air. We're coming out of the airport, and I'm going to Ann Arbor to play to 50 people. David is my booking agent, and so and he, you know, I said, David, how about this for as a business plan? I'm going to get on an airplane and fly to Ann Arbor to play for 50 people. It's like, that's very good, Don. Very good. That's a long-term planning there. He's a lovely man. He's been my friend for years and years and years, and I'm so glad that he's here. So, David, why don't you play something for us? Get us started up here on yours.
Thank you, Don. Thank you. You know what? I was listening to, I got all sorts of ideas about what to sing tonight, listening to the show and, you know, listening to your story about saving the water source. And then Mr. Tim Mason doing that song about it, that poem about a tree, and made me think of this. The story behind this song to me is interesting. I have a friend who teaches film at a technological high school here, and at one time years ago he came up and I said, I've got this story and that I think you'd really like. It's called "The Man Who Planted Trees," and basically it was and this is great because it's Veterans Day, because this was about a World War I veteran who basically had PTSD after the war. And he was an American, and he just kind of wandered up into the mountains after the war. He didn't have anything to come back to. And he met a shepherd up there. And he stayed with that shepherd for a couple of years and helped him out. But the thing that the shepherd did every day, he planted 100 trees in kind of the devastated land around there. And this guy helped him with it. And then he went home. And 40 years later, he returned to Europe to find the shepherd. And of course, the shepherd was gone, but there was a whole forest there. And that, the idea of that just, kind of just pinged me off like a marble shooting off pinball. And which is where this song came from. It's called "Planting Trees." A little bit west of nowhere is my town. A faded elegance falling down. Somewhere lost between the cracks. The world rushed through this place. I hope it never comes back. Politicians said put your doubts aside. But spin is just another word for lie. They took this land, betrayed our trust, ground all our dreams away, left us tears and dust. So I started one September night. Sometimes you just do what you feel is right. With a shovel and some seedlings from a friend, and the will to try and make some kind of amends. I plant for you, I plant for me, I plant a prayer of hope with each and every tree, all for a world I'll never see. In the evenings you can find me planting trees. At first it was only me, and there wasn't much to see. Anger and despair still gripped the town. Leave it to the children to turn such things around. They started coming in ones and twos, wanting to know what they could do. And in this place where hope had died, they brought their joy of life, and the town regained its pride. They plant for you, they plant for me, they are the prayer of hope with each and every tree, all for a world they still may see. In the evenings you can find them planting trees. Sometimes I walk to start my day and watch the morning shadows play. Like tiny hands they reach and weave, and so the earth gives thanks, and I find that's all I need. We plant for you, we plant for me, we plant a prayer of hope with each and every tree, all for a world that still can be. In the evenings you can find us planting trees. We plant for you, we plant for me, we plant a prayer of hope with each and every tree, all for a world that still can be. In the evenings you can join us planting trees.
Beautiful, David.
Wow, David, that was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's go check out this restaurant
Nice,
first.
Dave.
Come back to
That was great, David. Thank you.
Master Right.
Yes, I didn't hear what you said in there.
I'm not sure that's somebody talking to you or if they're just talking off.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
David, so let's I want everybody here to if you're interested in this subject, there was an organization from 72 to 90, but I don't know, maybe into the 90s, called the Ho-Dads. Has anybody ever heard of the Ho-Dads? Okay, you need to know about them. In my book, I talk a little bit about them because we ran into them. So tree planting used to be a gig, you know, of reforestation, and people would pick fruit in the fall and tree plant in the winter, actually. So there was this, and a lot of the tree, nobody took it seriously. And then this group of hippies, well, not really hippies, they were like people who had been in the Peace Corps and stuff like that, and they wanted to do something good. They created a collective called the Ho-Dads, and they outplanted every other organization because they worked all together. Like, they worked as a team. They were the first organization to have women as tree planters. 25% of the crews were women. They had a lobbying group. They petitioned to get pesticides not put on trees that were planted. They made millions of dollars, and it was all a group of people working together, the Hodads, Hoedads. Look it up. It's really a fascinating piece of tree planting history, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's go back to Mark Stepikoff. Mark, let's talk a little bit, buddy. Let's so what's new in your world? Are you working from home now, or?
Yeah, I'm still working from home, Don, and that's good. I think probably I'll be, going back sometimes to the office soon. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but it's been nice to be home. I have in the real world, I have a long commute, and so being home, I have sort of more time for other things, including playing music, and I've been teaching myself piano, which I never played before, so that's been nice. And I'm starting to get play a few real live shows. I'm playing December 4th at the Somerville Armory with Kirsten Manville, who is near and dear to your heart, I know, and Grace Morrison. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll sort of be my first kind of real live show in a while. So yeah, it's good, Don.
I appreciate that. So Mark Stepikoff, I've known him a long time. He ran an open mic at TCAN, which was very warm and friendly. He was great to everybody there, but he's a really good songwriter. I toured with Christine Lavin for close to 9 years, and everybody would send her CDs, and I'd watch her how she listened to them, and she would listen, and your album that you sent to her was the only time I ever saw her listen to every song on an album. She just loves you.
Yeah, she's been very, very, very good to me, so I'm grateful for that. So
yeah, and she was like my status got raised up because I knew you. Yeah, I actually know this guy. So
I know, Don, your status is pretty high in my book, no matter what. So
thanks, Mark. So why don't you play something else for us?
Okay. I'll try this. I played this for Don before. So I wrote this, as I said, I've had some downtime at home, so I wrote this at home. I guess it was sometime last year when I was really in lockdown, but I wanted to play it because, among other things, it has a reference to our star of the show this evening. So I'll play it. I wrote this as kind of an homage to the late great Shel Silverstein and Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. Some of you may remember them. So. Well, I'm a folk musician. I got big ambitions to be known everywhere I go. I sing long dirges in the basements of churches for $25 a show. But I've been biding my time, and I'm sure that soon I'm gonna be the next musical rage. But if you're surfing the net, one thing I haven't got yet is my own Wikipedia page. Wikipedia page, wanna have a page on Wikipedia. Wanna be a star on social media. Wanna see my life story on my own Wikipedia page. I'm getting multiple plays from the folk DJs. They love every song I write. I got some nice reviews in the Metro West News. They said I was a poor man's Don White. I think I got a real shot at a coveted slot on the Newport Folk Festival stage. But I'll be overlooked and will never get booked without a Wikipedia page. Wikipedia page, wanna have a page on Wikipedia. Wanna be a star on social media. Wanna see my life story on my own Wikipedia page. I think you get the idea. It's not easy apparently to get a Wikipedia page. I don't even think Don has one, but well, I read on Reddit that the only way to get it is to prove your notability. But since it's the case that I got no fan base, that's gonna be a challenge for me. But I'm dreading the specter of the service job sector. I'd be working for minimum wage. So I'll just have to fake it, 'cause I ain't gonna make it without a Wikipedia page. Wikipedia page, wanna have a page on Wikipedia. Wanna be a star on social media. Wanna see my life story on my own Wikipedia page. On my own Wikipedia. Wanna have a page on Wikipedia. Wanna be the darling of the media. Wanna see my life story on my own Wikipedia page. On my own Wikipedia page.
Oh, that's a hoot, Mark.
Thank you, Neil.
I love it.
That was beautiful, Mark. So, look here. Let me get so I can see you. Hang on. So, if you look over here, maybe you can see they have like a whole wall of albums. See them right there? They go all the way up to the thing and down, and I've been going through them alphabetically, and I just happened to get to the H's, and so I'm going to show you my Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show albums. There you go.
That's very impressive. So I mean, very nice.
And then this one here, and I've been listening to them all week. Lots of drug references and stuff that doesn't stand up for political correctness anymore. But a lot of the songs were written by Shel Silverstein, who was a very complex and interesting man. Like his children's book, what's it called, Where the Sidewalk Ends?
Where the Sidewalk Ends, right. Yeah.
It's a thing of genius. I mean, it's brilliant. But
of course, he wrote A Boy Named Sue, as you probably know, and he wrote a lot of great songs.
And they had hits, like they were just crazy. The Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. That song that you were, that's the, that had the music for there is called
Cover the Rolling Stone.
Right, but they had two hits that Shel Silverstein wrote. One of them was called "The Queen of the Silver Dollar." Remember that? And
there was Sylvia's Mother. I remember that one.
Mother, right? But both hits. So I'm not sure if I would recommend them to you. I'm not sure everything stays, has stood the test of time. But it's worth a laugh. Whatever.
What I thought was interesting, Don, was because I have a lot of vinyl too. Sometimes you have to go over my house. You can kind of peruse my vinyl collection. I think you'll be impressed. I have a lot, and I'm kind of neurotic about filing it alphabetically and so on and so forth. But Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show, that's a dilemma because you file it under H, right? So you could. I think I file it under D. You could file under M. So that's very interesting.
You sound like to me like somebody who can't have their dollars not all in the same place, right?
I'm only that way about my vinyl records. There's something about Other than that, I'm very easygoing. But there's something about my vinyl records. They have to.
I give you a bunch of dollars and they're backwards and all that. You'll be okay. Right? Like, oh, don't I can't. I have to stop talking to you now and straighten these out.
But I have a couple of those Dr. Hook records too. I don't think I have as many as you.
I have three of them. They're a hoot to listen to, and Shel Silverstein's a big hero of mine. So thanks for doing that. Let's hear from Mark.
Hey, Mark, that was awesome.
All right,
Yay, Mark.
So let's talk to David for a minute. So David, what's new in your world? You doing your live stream once a month now?
Yes, yeah, we are, and it's great. We're doing one. I think it's the 11th of December. It's going to be the last one for the year, and yes, and Libby, my partner in Mustard's Retreat, got your books in the mail, and she said to tell you how much she's enjoying it.
Thank you. Well, it's good. That means something to me. You spend years doing this thing, and honestly, it's one thing to make an album. It takes 6 months or something, and if people don't really like it, you can live through that. But when it takes 4 years to do something, or you really hope that it doesn't suck, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
Hope that there's that people enjoy it, because it's a tremendous amount of investment and a big gamble, right? It's a lot of, you could have been doing something else with that time instead of making it something that, people like your other one better or whatever. So thank you. Tell her I love her and that. So let's see. What's the state of the music business, David? When are booking agents going to be able to book clients the way they used to? Any
I
thought?
don't, you know, I don't really see things opening up until next summer when people can be outdoors again. I mean, we did a indoor show last night down in Toledo, but it was, you know, a big 500 seat auditorium with social spacing and everybody. The rule of thumb seems to be got to be vaccinated, got to wear a mask, and that seems to be what venues are going towards.
You know what? I was just thinking when you said that, maybe you can finally get me into a 500 seat theater now that they can only put 100 people in.
That's right. If I play the Mark song and you know get them intrigued, like what poor man's Don White. Well, who's Don White? And you know, so that might be an angle.
You know, I always wanted to play a 500 seat theater. Now I can do it. See, it's just more reasons to thank COVID. You know, like I can make a whole list of the reasons to send COVID a thank you card. Don't have to drive to Boston every day. Don't have to, you know, there's a bunch of things. You know, besides the fact that it's killing everybody. That's I guess in the negative column. But well,
And
so
he's coming your way, David. You know.
All right. Well, Mark did that song about barbecue and made me think of this one. I mean, I grew up in a little town in Connecticut. I don't even think I knew what barbecue was. But in the 80s, we had a chance to go to the Kerrville Folk Festival down in Texas. And we got done with our set, went backstage, and, you know, they gave me a bowl of chili and a salad and sat down and big long table. And there were two guys there, one from Texas, one from Oklahoma. And they were almost coming to fisticuffs about what made the best barbecue. I mean, it was fascinating, and I thought, boy, I'm having the real Southern experience now. You know, the quintessential Southern experience. So, you know, I decided that to write a song about it, and I for years, you know, kind of sat there uncompleted till a few years ago. I thought, oh, what I need is a song about Michigan's UP. Now, the UP is the Upper Peninsula. I mean, here's the Lower Peninsula of Michigan, and you know Detroit's down here, Ann Arbor's here. You go up here to Mackinac City. There's a 5-mile bridge, and you get to the UP. The UP, Upper Peninsula. You know, we call them Upers up there. They call us trolls because we live below the bridge, and it's like still the 1970s up in the UP, and you know it's kind of the spiritual heart of Michigan. You know, you go up there and it's a real different place. It really is spiritual. But one of the claims to fame about the UP is their pasties. Now they were brought over a lot of mining, copper, iron came out of there. And they brought over miners from Wales and Cornwall back in the 1800s. And the wives of these miners used to make these thick dough, that were packed with hot vegetables inside, and crimp them down. And the miners would take them down in the mines, and they'd stay warm, until lunchtime. So those are the pasties you can get still up in the UP. And I thought, okay, I'll write a song about UP barbecue. Now, I didn't know anything about it, and to let you know, there's a lot of debate about what you eat your pasty with, either ketchup or gravy. And that's the debate. That's like the debate in New Haven, Connecticut about pizza. It's either Pepe's or Sally's. I don't know how many people have been there, but it's like, so that's the big debate, and so that will explain a little bit about the last verse of this song. Down in Savannah, they claim a way of cooking that'll make you clap your hands like a child. While in Vermont, that maple syrup, they'll tell anyone who'll hear it, is the ingredient to make you smile. In the woods of Louisiana, on a bayou, cooks my grandma, and folks travel for miles around. Kinda sweet, kinda sassy, little funky, always classy. It's the local definition of style. Barbecue, barbecue. It'll cure whatever ailing you. Thicker than the mud from a Mississippi flood. You can jaw till your night turns blue, but you'll never win the argument about the best barbecue. Honest Yago came down from Chicago with a bit of a superior tone. Trying to sell those ribs, I eat them with a bib. So good they make you gnaw the bone. Now it's a local superstition that no matter your condition, you'll be humbled by the time you were through. That man trembled, then he growled, threw his head back and howled. He begged for the recipe too. Barbecue, how do you do? You get the shakes, then a fever. It'll make you a believer. You'll be testifying when you were through. Cook it slow and steady, don't rush to get it ready. It takes time to make a quality brew of that belly busting, self-adjusting, scared of nothing barbecue. Driving through the UP, spirits kinda droopy, we detected a familiar scent. Turned left down a 2-track, sniffing to the outback. We came to the revival tent. There were angels dancing in a ring who said there's just one thing that punctures our heavenly bliss. Oh, eternity's divine, but you know it's a crime. We got nothing there as good as this. Barbecue, barbecue. There's nothing you won't say you do, but don't slap it on your pasty, that would just be nasty. In a pinch it makes a mighty fine glue. Oh, that toe curling, knitting, purling, South Sterling barbecue. Oh, that boot stomping, gator chomping, hell's a popping barbecue. Oh, that psychedelic, angelic, chromatic barbecue.
Yeah.
All right, David. Nice job.
Woo. Thank you.
Good job, David. The Upper Peninsula. It's quite a place.
Right. Everybody should get there.
Yeah, that when I went there for the first time last year, and the guy, I said, "Do I have to worry about deer on the ride home?" He goes, "Not till you get over the bridge." I go, "What?" He goes, "This is the most wilderness I've ever seen. Why no deer?" He goes, "We don't have deer up here on the roads because we have wolves."
Wow.
He said, "When you get across the bridge, you'll be, watch out for deers, but no problem up here." So yeah, we recommend it highly to go up there. It's another world. So thank you, David. You hang around. We'll go around one more time. Let's hear it for David Tamulich.
All right, David.
All right, Mark Stepikoff, why don't you finish us up here on your Mark Get Set. And listen, I'm glad to see you. Glad to see you doing well. I'm looking forward to the time when we can get face to face there, Mark, and I can look over your records selection and alphabetize them the way I prefer to.
That's right. All right. Look forward to seeing you too, Don. And thanks a lot. Good night.
Be well, my friend.
All right. I'll for this last song, I'll play this is a grand historical ballad. It tells the tale of a very important, though sadly neglected figure in world history. In in the season of the dragon near the province of Hunan. A brave young Chinese general crushed the rebels of Nian. Well, you can scour your history books, his name will not be found, but it's recognized at every Chinese takeout joint in town. General Gao, General Gao, the bravest man in China, but he's just chicken now. The ginger and the garlic make it all taste right somehow. Let's have another piece of General Gao. He drove the Taiping army from the city of Nanjing, and his name became a legend in the dynasty of Qing. If you don't see the irony, you must be pretty dim. He used to order thousands, but now thousands order him. General Gao, General Gao, fearless and courageous, but he's just chicken now. When Nixon went to China and had lunch with Chairman Mao, they had a great big dish of General Gao. It's said that when the general was about to pass away, his men asked if he'd any final words he'd like to say. He turned to his lieutenant and said, "Write this down if you would. I'm thinking chicken fried in sesame oil might taste pretty good." Well, there's Wellington and Stroganoff, a beef dish named for each. And Caesar had his salad, and Melba had her peach. But on this list, the general's name you surely must include. Someone with his accomplishments ought not to be poo-pooed. General Gao, General Gao, the bravest man in China, but he's just chicken now. And if I had one wish that God would promise to allow, I'd say praise the Lord and pass the General Gao. Praise the Lord and pass the General Gao.
Beautiful.
All right, Mark.
Thanks. All right, that was for Veterans Day, so.
Haven't heard
That was
in years,
great.
Mark. Thank you.
Now I'm hungry.
Yeah,
The
really.
thing about that song is you hear it, and an hour later you want to hear it again.
You want to call out for Chinese. All right, so David, take us home. Thanks for all you're doing in the world, for the good music you're putting into it, and for all you've done. I'll see you soon. Let's play something for us here, David. I can't wait to hear it.
All right, I've been, I'm listening to General Gao and the poor man's Don White and barbecue. I'm trying to remember the author of this, and I can't. So Mark, you're at fault. But this is a poem. I'm going to dedicate this to Tim. I saw this poem and I was immediately struck by it, and it goes back to the first thing about the water and the trees, and just the connection. It's called A Spell for Creation, and it's just so. I just love the beauty of how it's put together in the flow of it. Elizabeth Raines, she was an English poet who wrote this. Within the flower lies a seed. From that seed there springs a tree. From that tree there spreads a wood. And in that wood there burns a fire, and in that fire melts a stone. Within the stone a ring of iron, within that ring there lies a sphere, within that sphere there looks an eye. Within the eye there swims a sea, within that sea reflected sky, and in that sky there shines a sun, and in that sun a bird of gold, and in that bird there beats a heart, and from that heart there flows a song, and in the song there speaks a word, and in that word there speaks a world. A world of joy, a world of grief. With understanding will come peace. A world of joy, a world of grief. With understanding will come peace. From joy and peace there springs my love, and oh my love, there springs a world, and on that world there shines a sun, and in that sun there burns a fire, and the fire consumes my heart, and in my heart there beats a bird, and in that bird there wakes an eye, and in that eye earth, sea and sky. Earth, sky, and sea within that sphere lies like a seed within the flower, and in that seed is all we know. And from that knowledge comes our power.
Man, that was beautiful, David. Nicely done.
Yeah, I love that
Very
poem.
nice, David, really.
That was great, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Let's
thanks
hear
a
for
lot.
David Tamulevich, my friend. Mark
Oh,
Stepakov,
David, Mark.
Tim Mason. Nicely done, everybody.
Yeah. How about that Don White guy and Brandon O'Sullivan? Yay for them.
All right, I'm gonna read you two paragraphs from this book here. This is from a story at the end called "An Old Man's Dream," and this, it's me talking to my grandson's grandson, and this is my argument for cursive. This is just a few words here, so right, do it in cursive. I can't believe they stopped teaching cursive in school. In cursive, you hardly have to lift your pen off the paper. Cursive is designed to accommodate the flow of ideas. Teach yourself to let what you want to say pour out onto the page. Don't edit, let it flow. Edit later. The reason I consider it a felony to not teach children how to write in cursive has nothing to do with them not being able to read the original Bill of Rights. That's just a piece of parchment with noble ideas written on it that politicians claim ownership of just before they use it to wipe their ass. The reason you should write in cursive is that the part of you that knows what you were born to do, that knows who you were before the world turned up the amplifiers on modern life's dreadful music, lives in your heart. It pumps ideas to your brain. Your brain sends the ideas through your blood, down your arm, to your fingers, where that idea travels from your heart to the ink in your pen and then out onto a page and into the world. Cursive is the natural fluid extension of an idea that travels through blood. You write it, you read it, you remember who you are and who you were born to be. Thank you for a lovely night, everyone.
All right, Don, that was wonderful. Thank you, my friend.
All right. So thanks to everyone that came tonight, everyone that could donate. I'll be loving you in the supermarket tomorrow. Next week, I don't think we're gonna have invited guests, but anybody that wants to come, will probably just sing songs and tell stories and hang around afterwards. I'm gonna take off until January and get settled into my new house, and just get settled in, and then I'll make sure that you all know when we're gonna start up again. It might be monthly at that point, but I really appreciate you all. Has anybody got anything to say before we go? You want to promote anything like that?
Just thanks, Don. It's been great.
Thanks, Tim. And good luck with the 8:30 club. We'll get together once my world settles in a little bit and figure out how to do a storytelling thing for you. Let's thank Brandon for doing all the good
Yeah,
work.
yo, Brandon, thank you as always.
Brandon's the best.
Yeah, made me hungry with those. What are they? Brandon, you said they were excellent.
Oh,
Pasties. Pasties are amazing.
I had never heard of them till tonight.
Wait a minute. So hey, guess what? We have a surprise. So that looks like the Loomers over there.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness!
did he come in?
They have a sound check. See if you can get them to. We were just about to sign off. John Svecki. What do you think?
He can't hear you, but I can. It's
Alright,
Brian.
So Brian,
But I could tell him.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna say I could tell them. I can give them a start cue if you want to do it.
Yeah, we were just gonna sign off. This is a perfect way to end. So these guys, this is the Loomers, a band that I played with over the years. They got a big show tomorrow night in Belmont, Mass. This is their sound check that they were doing. So why don't you spotlight them, Brandon, and let's let the Loomers take us home.
Whoa! All right.
Oh, so now are we on live on Don's thing now? All right. Well, hi everybody. Hopefully we're going to make this work. The miracle of technology with the Loomers. Thanks for having us, Don, and hopefully the signal lasts long enough through one song. We're rehearsing for tomorrow night at the second Friday Coffeehouse, first in-person show in 20 months. It's awesome to be here on Don's live thing. This is an incredible technology thing that happened. And here's the Loomers, and we're going to do a tune for you now. You ready? Let's go. My old town. My old town. Yes, my old town. 3, 3. To explode. We went looking for adventure, we would ride our bikes till there was no place left to go.
Hey, John in the Lumens. Nice job.
Oh.
Thank you, guys. That was about as clear as we could get it in this big cavernous room, but I hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Brian Dozer there, who's done tech for us many times. And good luck tomorrow night to tell the guys that we wish them the best and that was great.
Will do. Thank you, guys. Take care.
All right, see you later.
Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, it's always worth it to stay to the end. You never know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, you're right, Don.
How about the technology where a band can like just come into your Zoom show like that? Pretty good, right?
That was pretty cool.
I thought it was a photograph. I just thought it was a photograph. I didn't even know they were real.
It was a photograph that started moving and singing. That's like the photograph you were looking at when you were doing mushrooms.
Not them.
Oh, man.
Who are you, Don?
Okay. Kara, anything you want to tell us about the state of politics these days? You working on anything that you want to mention?
The Resolutions Committee for the Democratic Party has approved a number of things, including keeping an eye on logging in state forests and trying to make sure that the forests are properly managed and that the carbon conversion is not wrecked and that there's not hyper profit being made in skullduggery. So we're keeping an eye on the forests. We're working on letting people have as much marijuana as they can healthily contain. And then there's a third one, but I think the marijuana one distracted me. So
let's get pizza. Let's order pizza.
Yeah.
Now you're hungry too, right?
Kara, is that the state legislature or the federal?
No, it's neither. It's the Democratic Party. So I'm on the Resolutions Committee, and that's what we were working on last night.
I see. Wonderful. Well, I appreciate your work. The world is better with you in it. Oli Dalby, do you want to tell us what it's really like to live in the Upper Peninsula since you're coming in from there?
It's great. As they say, we love it here. Come and visit, but please don't move here.
So, Oli, where in the UP are you?
I'm in Iron River.
Oh, okay, great.
I'm 6 miles from Wisconsin border.
Yep.
Yeah. I love those states. Like, you can come and visit and spend your money, but get the hell out of here.
That's right.
So 50 people, right?